The following is a special presentation of WTAP Sports.
Live from Bill Hanlon Stadium at St. Mary's High School, WTAP Sports brings you the 28th Battle Against Cystic Fibrosis Football Classic, sponsored by Community Bank.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bill Hanlon Stadium in St. Mary's, West Virginia for a very special evening of football. It's the annual Battle Against Cystic Fibrosis Football All-Star Classic presented by Community Bank. It's good football for a great cause as teams from Ohio and West Virginia face off in an Ohio versus West Virginia All-Star Classic. And Mike, we're looking for a good one tonight. All the Ohio All-Stars are the defending champions. They're coached by River High School coach Mike Flannery, while the West Virginia All-Stars lead the overall series 15-12 and are coached by Doddridge County's Bobby Burnside. Both teams are looking to bring home a victory and put on a show for the fans here tonight, but more importantly, it's an opportunity for those players and coaches to help raise money to fund research to find the cure against cystic fibrosis, which literally takes the breath away of those afflicted. And we'll have more on that and hear from those affected by cystic fibrosis all throughout the game. Joining me once again is Mike Hayden. And Mike, it's an all-star football game, and we're going to see the best from these young men for both Ohio and West Virginia.
Well, you summed it up right in the beginning. The bottom line is BACF, Battle Against Cystic Fibrosis, and these young men, they are learning something about life. And I think every one of them on the field feel like that they're out here to raise money for research. But the thing we want to look at tonight, Jim, is West Virginia squad has over 40 players. The Ohio squad is under 30. And it's a hot night, and they haven't had but about 4 practice days. And we're going to find out who is in a better shape.
And joining us once again along the sidelines with his reports will be Rick Marshall, and Rick will be keeping us up to date on the players. We'll be hearing from him later. And we've got an exciting new addition to this year's broadcast. We've got Spirit reporters. We've got Alexa Griffey and Evan Lasik will be on both sidelines, and they'll be bringing us kind of a taste of the atmosphere of what's going on each sideline and keep us update on what the players are doing and what the fans are doing as well. So it's going to be a good night for football here in the Mid-Ohio Valley. And Mike, it's an all-star game, and how are the nerves for these kids? They've played 4 years of high school football, graduated. For some, it's their last game. For others, this is one last game before moving on to college.
Well, definitely. But I'll tell you right now, these youngsters are going to give it everything that they have because there's a lot of pride between these two states. And I look for a hard-hitting contest, and it's going to be the team that, like I said, is in better shape. But West Virginia has an advantage because they have the numbers. And when you have numbers in hot weather like this, you can substitute freely. And that's something that we're going to take a look at.
And we'll go down along the sidelines to Rick Marshall. And Rick, what's your perspective down there? And tell us what the heat level is down there right now.
Well, earlier in the day, we thought that the heat was going to be a big factor, but I can tell you, as the clouds have started to come out just a little bit and the sun's going down, it's really starting to cool off. So where I thought that conditioning was going to play a factor in depth on both sides, I don't know if that's going to necessarily be the case this evening.
I'm sure also they'll probably getting as many water break timeouts by the officials just to keep an eye on the health and make sure these young men are hydrated and there's no player in distress tonight. You'll probably get some Charlie horses and stuff like that cramping up tonight. Do you think, Mike?
Well, I think so, and look for that especially in your third and fourth quarter because it's going to be a factor. And Rick's right, it feels right now a little bit cooler than what it was, but still the weather is going to be a factor toward the end of the game.
That's because we're in an air-conditioned press box, Mike.
Oh, you dream.
Not really. Okay, we're just about set for the kickoff. We'll be kicking off at 7:10 here. Once again, West Virginia leads the overall series, but Ohio has won the last 4 games that have been played. And, of course, because of the COVID pandemic, there was a 2-year layout of the cystic fibrosis game. It came back last year, and we're glad it has because this game has done its part over the years, along with the Basketball All-Star Classic, raising over $600,000 in money that has directly gone on to research for a cure for cystic fibrosis. So by people spending their money on the tickets and the 50-50, it's making a difference in helping get one step closer to possibly a cure for cystic fibrosis.
Jim, we've got to go ahead and pat a certain individual on the back for a job well done, and that's Jody Moat, St. Mary's. Jody has done a wonderful job with this game the last few years, and along with praising him, I want to send out a shout out to his dad, Gail Moat, who used to be here as the head football coach and athletic director years ago. He's back in Arkansas. He's retired. And Gail, hey, best of luck to you. And it's good to see Jody out here doing the job.
Truly a great football family. And we see our first Spirit Cam shot of the night. And I think that might be Evan out there, but we'll be hearing from them. The players are just about ready to kick it off here. The West Virginia will win the toss. There's ceremonial coin toss, but West Virginia wins the coin toss by reason of the money that it raised in player sponsorships for cystic fibrosis. So that's a big part of the fundraiser here.
Jim, did I hear correctly? Harbor Hott from Williamstown High School raised the most money, and it was over $1,000.
Yeah, over $1,100, I believe. So a great athlete and a great fundraiser and a great humanitarian for a man so young.
Jim, another thing that you try to do in an all-star game, I had the good fortune of coaching in 2 North-South football games in West Virginia. You try to keep things simple because you don't have the youngsters that long, and so you just try to stay as close as you can to basic football.
Now, West Virginia has elected to defer. They will kick off. And, Mike, what's the reasoning for that by taking the defense first if you're West Virginia?
Most coaches feel the same way, and that is you'd rather go on defense first because it's easier to play defense than offense, and the chances of making a big mistake are less on defense than they are on offense.
Taylor Thomas will kick the ball away for the West Virginia BACF All-Stars. And we're just seconds away. And here we go. Ball is kicked deep down to about the 1-yard line. It'll be brought out. And that is, let's see who got that for Ohio. That was Joe Radizak from Shenandoah. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. We'll set up the offense here. Ohio gets the ball first, and Jacob Panelidis will be the quarterback. Zayden Huck will be in the backfield, and the wide receivers Brody Lolithan, River Thompson, and Connor Iboden. The tight end is Joe Radizak. It's a quick swing pass out to the far sideline. A pickup of a couple of yards there.
Good pursuit on the part of the West Virginia team. There were several in on the tackle over on the sideline, and I think they gained about 2 yards.
The guys up front for Ohio are Hayden Soprano, Braylon Kinder, Lucas Little, Ross Wells, and Josiah Jones. We'll run down the West Virginia defense here shortly for you. Second and about 8, and it's a scrum up the middle, pushing the ball across the 25-yard line for a few more yards.
And if you take a look at the West Virginia defense, they gang tackle pretty daggone good.
And it's a hurry-up offense here for Ohio. Nothing much there as they get stacked up by the interior part of that line for a loss. That'll bring up 4th down. A great job for the West Virginia defense. Christian Jarvis, Adam Burnside, Austin Bartlett, Demetrius Gearhart, Adam Angel, Braden Whipke, Tyler Curry, Braylon Hilliard, Cody Clevenger, Parker Kinsell, and Alex Culp. Team Ohio will have to punt the ball away. And 3 and out.
Good snap.
And it's a rugby kick. Now he's going to take off downfield, and he has
first down.
Picked up first down yardage. So they go to the Mike Flannery goes to the gamble here early on. Why not? It's an all-star game, and the fake punt works for a first down.
That was number 2, Connor Iboden, is it?
Yeah.
I think you pronounce it, from Meigs High School.
So a great job for Team Ohio as they pick up the first down. The West Virginia defense thought, well, we did a great job, but now they have to do it again. They're back out on the field.
That's the nice thing about a rugby-style punt, Jim. You break, contain, get out there. If you feel like you got an open field, you can take it and run it or kick it. Either one.
Pantelides with a little sling pass out to the sideline, and that's Joel Radizak. He's a 6'3", 220-pounder from Shenandoah. And he's close to the 40-yard line, about the 38-yard line. About 2nd and 6 for Ohio. Ohio is coached by Mike Flannery, been a football coach for 20 years. This is his 3rd BACF football game, 1 with West Virginia when he was head coach at Payton City, and 2 now in Ohio. And it is Pantelides calling his own number, and he brings it across the 40 to about the 45-yard line. And that'll be close to first down yardage. They'll say 3rd and about a half a yard.
That was a nice run. It's a power run, too.
Yeah. Pantelides earned all district honors, leading the Waterford to the playoffs, passing for over 1,300 yards and 19 touchdowns, and he's running for over 600 yards and 5 TDs last season as a senior. Pantelides 3rd and short. Quick handoff up the middle, and that'll be first down yardage. And
they lined up.
I believe that was Radizak, the tight end.
They lined up in a power formation, and they were able to pick up about 2 yards.
So that brings up the first down, and they're getting close to midfield yardage here on this warm evening in St. Mary's. Glad to have you along on the Valley's My TV here for the BACF. Once again, quick hitter up the middle, and Mike, I like how he holds on to that football. 2 hands.
Absolutely. Tackle that time was made by Harbor Hott from Williamstown, number 11.
He did a lot of that for the Williamstown Yellow Jackets.
Certainly did.
Part of that Yellow Jacket squad that made it all the way to the state championship game this year. A lot of great players from the LKC taking part in the game tonight from the various schools of that conference, one of the best in West Virginia for small schools. Pantelides has time, goes up to his big man, and that's first down yardage and more at about the 16-yard line.
That's River Thompson from River High School.
Yeah, River, what a great name for a receiver. River Thompson from River High School, 6'4", 200 pounds, and Thompson had 10 touchdown grabs on the season for the Pilots this year, so that guy has great hands and great speed, and he uses his height to his advantage, Mike.
Sure does on that, and this has been a very, very good drive.
It's a keeper by Pantelides, kicks it outside, gets a block. He sprung free across the 30, still on his feet. Spin moves all the way inside the 20-yard line. My, oh my, what a great run, Mike, as you said. And we'll take a look at a replay of this. Mike, tell us what you see.
All right, look at the block outside. A great block, and it tried to pick up the number of who it was, but he cracked back, and that allowed Pantelides to get down that sideline.
So Ohio, off of a fake punt, they are right in business now in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Pantelides with the pitch out, trying to cut back.
They read that
Brody,
one well.
Brody Lotathan, and Lotathan, I believe, just gets stuffed for maybe no gain or loss of a yard.
The tackle was made by number 32, Colton Paxton from Roane County, a 6'1", 210-pound lineman.
So back in the huddle now. They've been running a hurry-up offense, and now they're gathered themselves and coming up to the line of scrimmage.
Got a one back set, Jim.
Pantelides hands it off, and it is nothing there.
Braden Whipke from South made the tackle.
Yep, the linebacker, 6'4", 225 pounds. And so Ohio now faces 3rd down and about 10, actually closer to 11. So a would-be passing situation here.
You know what would be a good play right now for them would be with Pantelides running a bootleg pass. But they've
got 4 receivers out to the right.
Got an empty backfield,
yep,
so there'll be no
backfield. So he's rolling right. Going to the end zone. He has a man in the back of the end zone.
Touchdown.
It is good. Touchdown, Ohio All-Stars, and that was River Thompson, the 6'4", 200-pound River High School, and he just broke free right back there, and they kind of lost track of him.
Yeah.
And he was in the back corner of the end zone, and he pulls it in for a 14-yard touchdown. So a 14-yard touchdown pass from Pantelides to River Thompson makes it 6-0 at the 6:26 mark here in the first quarter. Now for the extra point, and sometimes special teams can be a little bugaboo in these all-star games because these teams haven't had much time to work together on their special teams, and they're waiting for the kicker. I think Lawlithan's out there for the hold, and Zayden Huck will be doing the kicking from Fort Fry. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. The kick is good. So at the 6:26 mark, Ohio cashing in a trick play on a fake punt, getting the first down, and they march all the way downfield, and they strike first, 7-0 Ohio BACF All-Stars. And Rick, from your perspective down there, what was your thoughts on what Ohio was able to accomplish here in the first series? Well, we'll be hearing from Rick, and glad to have you along for the BACF. You know, the local Battle Against Cystic Fibrosis organization is focused on the safety of all players and participants in its events, and a great entertainment event for our audiences. But its biggest goal is raising money to fund a cure for cystic fibrosis. A major part of that effort is the football program that is on sale at the event this evening. Each player is asked to come up with $200 in sponsorships from businesses, family, or friends, and that money goes to cover the cost of his jersey and other game-related expenses so that we can find and send the most money possible to the National Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. In the past 20-plus years, the BACF has sent more than $600,000 to the National Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, helping fund research, and that research is leading to longer lifespans and better quality of life for CF sufferers. And once again, a great job at these games. Great benefit, both the boys and girls basketball all-star games and the football game. Now Ohio going to kick the ball away, and Mike, we've seen one trick play on special teams. Onside kick here?
No, I don't think so. Not this early. But I've been fooled before.
Yeah.
But that was a very well executed drive, Jim. And the Ohio team looked like a team had been practicing together forever.
You're going to see things that you probably wouldn't see most normally in regular high school football games, because the coaches feel free to open up the bag of tricks and put on a show for the fans. Okay, West Virginia takes the kickoff and returns it up the middle. And
that was Ian Persinger from Calhoun County, 5'8", 160 pounds.
Calhoun County Red Devils. So 1st and 10 for the 35 for West Virginia. Starting quarterback for West Virginia on offense, Trenton Huffman. From Doddridge County, the running backs, Deshaun Webster from Philip Barber and Derek Skyler Delk. From Roane County, the wide receivers, Joey Ramsey, Seth Richards, and Gabe Stewart. We'll set up the guys up front here shortly. It's a little swing pass out to the side. The pass is dropped by Joey Ramsey, incomplete.
That was close to being a lateral, so you've got to go cover that thing.
The offensive linemen for West Virginia, Logan McCartney, Michael Van Mater, Dalton Vion, Kimball Longwell, and Charles Ibison.
I tell you, they've got a big back there in Deshaun Webster from Philip Barber. He's 6'1", 210. I'd pound him. I'd pound him at him.
We'll run down the defense for Ohio here shortly. And they are pounding that football, get it ahead for a few yards.
Good surge that time by the defense for Ohio, and in on that tackle was number 7. And number 7 is Zayden Huck from Fort Fry. Fort Fry's had a great history the last few years.
The guys up front for the Ohio All-Stars, Joe Radizak, Caleb Riggs, Marshall Beer, Robbie Nixon. Linebackers, Jared Trenner, Zayden Huck, Braden Roth. D-backs are Brody Lolithan, Dante Henderson, Connor Imboden, and Terry Price. Okay, 3rd down and 6 for West Virginia. And we got a flag on the play.
I think they were offside.
They are brought down. A big bull rush there by the defense. I think Dante Henderson was in on that.
Caleb Briggs from Fort Fry, 6'4", 215, number 66. I don't know. There was a couple of linemen I thought that were offside. Not a calling illegal procedure on West Virginia. They're going to refuse that penalty.
Caleb Briggs has had a great senior season for Fort Fry. He had 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and he earned first-team All-Ohio honors in Division VI. So that sack moves West Virginia all the way back, and it'll be a 28-yard line. It'll be 4th and 18 yards, 18 to go, and they're punting the ball away. And that punt is away by Taylor Thomas. It's pulled in by Ohio about the 29-yard line. And that was pulled in by Bowden. And that'll be 1st and 10 for Ohio. So Ohio has an impressive defensive series after an impressive offensive start. And we're about the 5:21 mark here in the first half, the first quarter of the BACF. Sponsored by Community Bank.
Let's see if Ohio sticks to the same game plan they had in that first drive, Jim. It was well executed. Panelides is a heck of a good quarterback.
Had a great career for the Cadets. Now we've got the pass to the swing pass out to the right side.
Brody Lawton from River.
They've got some good players. Coach Flannery brought good players along with him. Yeah, Yonker, Brady Yonker's in at quarterback. He's a 5'11", 170-pounder from Eastern High School. Yonker calls his own number, and he gets knocked down after a couple yards. Nice defensive stop there by West Virginia.
That tackle was made by Adam Anger from Cameron. And we got a flag.
Second flag of the night. And that's Larry McCloy is the head of this 7-person officiating crew.
He's also the state football interpreter.
And he's involved with rule changes that are upcoming
He's
for the year.
on the National Football Rules Committee.
A great local official. We'll see what Larry calls. Coach Bobby Burnside wants the explanation.
He's going to take the penalty.
He'll take the penalty.
Illegal block in the back, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
So that'll march him back. Yonker has 2 receivers at the top of a screen, 2 at the bottom of a screen. Yonker rolling right, looking, throwing towards the far sidelines, and there's a short completion. And that was pulled in there by Brady Lawton of River High School. That'll bring up
another
3rd
flag.
and long.
There's another flag, Jim.
Is that in the backfield?
It's in the secondary.
Now they're talking to West Virginia. Talking to Austin Bartlett. And the umpire looks like he'll be marching this one back.
Illegal participation.
That was illegal participation.
That's easy to do, I guess, in an all-star game with confused about assignments or what the rotation is on a play.
It'll be 3rd and 22.
So it's 3rd down and forever here for Team Ohio. who wasn't afraid to pull off some razzle-dazzle here in their first series. Yonker with the quarterback draw. Or not the quarterback draw, but it's a draw play. And that is Zayden Huck from Fort Fry, the 5'11", 195-pounder, an integral part of the success of the cadets over the last 4 years. Zayden Huck last season as a senior had 200 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. And he too was one of the cadets' first-team All-Ohio selections. Great career for the Fort Fry cadets. Seemingly we'll have a punt this time. Now we've got a timeout. Looks to be timeout West Virginia.
3:48, Jim, remaining in the first period. After that first drive, the West Virginia defense has stiffened up.
Let's see, do we have anything from our Spirit reporters out there during this timeout? Let's go to Evan on the far sideline. Evan Lasix, and what do you have for us, Evan?
Bit quiet right now. There's a lot of focus right now on this upcoming 4th down. They have the huddle going on right behind me, if you guys can see.
Yep.
It is going to be a lot of fun. They already ran a fake punt one time. It's a little bit longer, so I think they are going to stick with it this time. But we shall see coming up. We got a lot of focus going on in the stands. They obviously super excited. I got to talk with Jacob Panelidis earlier after his long touchdown run and then his long touchdown throw. He was super excited. This team is ecstatic to be playing here right now on this nice field.
Great report, Evan. We'll be looking forward to more of that as the game rolls along. Now Ohio is indeed getting ready to punt the ball away. West Virginia has 2 returners back at about the 35-yard line. High snap, and he pulls it down in the same style, rugby style kick, but he gets to the ball. West Virginia lets it bounce once, but then they pull it in, and he is on his way. That is number 80 for the West Virginia, and he is on his way all the way for the touchdown. And that was Jalen Hall from Mountain View, 5'11", 160-pounder. He picked the ball up on a bounce, and then he was gone. He had a seam, and he made the most of it. And let's take a look at this replay, Mike, and see how he made this happen.
He pulls it down.
Just good vision.
The, same style.
The ball hits. Oh, well. Okay, so we're back, but Jalen Hall, a great effort there. And I would say it was probably, I was going to get the yardage from the replay, but I'd say that was probably about a 50-some yard punt return for a touchdown. Thomas now for the extra point. It's up, and it is good. And at the 3:33 mark, the game is tied 7-7 in the BACF All-Star Football Classic. So actually, this game has been a game of special teams plays. The first one was a fake punt by the Ohio defensive team, or Ohio punting team, that picked up a first down that led to a scoring touchdown. And then West Virginia special teams, a punt return team, comes through in a big way, with Hall returning it all the way for a touchdown and evening this game up for the Mountain State squad. Jalen Hall, 5'11", 160-pounder from Mountain View High School. And Mike, we've got schools represented not only from the Mid-Ohio Valley, but all over Ohio and West Virginia are taking part in the BACF this year.
That's the nice thing about it. Of course, West Virginia takes more of advantage of that than what Ohio does, because Ohio has a lot more schools that they could pick from. But that was a great job of broken field running, because he took that punt and went right straight up the middle of the field and was never pursued.
So West Virginia getting to kick the ball away here. And they do, and it is deep, and it is into the end
zone.
zone. So Taylor Thomas does a great job there into the end zone, so that'll be a touchback. And Ohio comes back on offense. West Virginia had a great defensive stand. The last series of offense for Ohio, and they had to punt the ball away, and West Virginia cashed that in. Let's see if Ohio's had two different quarterbacks in each series, and now we're back to Jacob Pantelides for Fort Fry. He's got three receivers up top, two down below, and he's throwing over the middle to his tight end. That is pulled in by his running back, that is, Zayden Huck. 5'11", 195-pounder, so it's a Fort Fry cadet to another Fort Fry cadet, and he moves it across the 40 to the 42-yard line, so that's a 22-yard gain and 1st and 10 for the Ohio All-Stars. And I think I misspoke. Pantelides is across the river from Fort Fry. He's from Waterford High School.
They could throw a rock literally.
Yeah, and hit each other, yeah. We got the Spirit cam there going. And nothing there this time as West Virginia throws back Pantelides.
And that was number 72, Christian Jarvis from Roane County.
6'1", 225-pounder, and he brought a load with him on that one.
Three receivers up top.
He stacked it up at the line of scrimmage, and we've got the Kimura's Spirit cam going. And the fans enjoying this ball game, and also a nice little breeze out there. Low snap, Pantelides handles it. And Pantelides, defense gets stuffed there. The defense does the stuffing, I should say.
Tyler Curry, number 50 from North Marion High School.
6'1", 220-pounder, 210-pounder. So great defense here for two series in a row for Team West Virginia. That'll bring up a 3rd and long for the Buckeye State.
The West Virginia defense has really made some adjustments since that first series.
Okay, Pantelides. See if he can pull it out here on 3rd and long. Rolling right. Looking. And he gets cut off, and he'll be dragged down along the far sideline. So great containment by Team West Virginia, and the defense gets the job done. That was Christian Jarvis once again, and he had a couple of teammates also in pursuit. So that'll bring up a 4th down, and the Ohio All-Stars will have to punt the ball away. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
Future cheerleader.
Yes. That's a great part about these BACF games, is fans of all ages here. And the punt is away. That was Connor Imboden with the kick. You know, hit and bounce out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. So West Virginia will have the ball 1st and 10 at just across the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Mountain State. And they come on the field, and a great couple of defensive series for Team West Virginia, Mike.
Absolutely. Like I said, that first series, Ohio made it look fairly easy. It was well-balanced attack, took it all the way down the field and scored. But since then, West Virginia's defense has stiffened up.
Last year's game, West Virginia scored early and easily, and then it was all Ohio after that. See if that repeats itself the other way around this year, but the run is stuffed. I think that was Deshaun Webster, 6'1", 210-pounder from Philip Barber, getting the ball, but he gets thrown back. And
that was a direct snap to him, the tailback.
Yep, and he'll lose about the length of a football, so it'll be 2nd and a long 10. Now some Packer fans there. No doubt they have all the love for the Packers this year. Is that a power I formation here, Mike, for West Virginia? And the quarterback is throwing out of it. Trenton Huffman hits his receiver, and across the 40-yard line, that'll pick up the 1st down. And that was a good reception there for
Gabe
Team West
Stewart
Virginia.
from Doddridge County.
And it's one Doddridge County player to another Doddridge County player for first down yardage. And we're coming down for probably the last play. The clock is stopped here at 9 seconds, and this will be barring an incompletion or penalty, the last play of the quarter. Quick hitter up the middle of the fullback, and he'll get a couple of yards, and that'll bring the end of the first quarter. That was Skylar Delk on the run there for Roane County. So at the end of one quarter, we're all even Stevens, 7 apiece. Battle against cystic fibrosis all-star classes presented by Community Bank.
He'll get a couple of yards, and that'll be the end of the first.
Welcome back to the 28th Annual Battle Against Cystic Fibrosis All-Star Football Classic, getting ready to start the second quarter. We're tied at 7 apiece heading into the second period, with Ohio scoring early and West Virginia answering late to tie this ball game up. First down, I should say second down, and West Virginia tries a little razzle-dazzle play there. That was Seth Richards from Doddridge County, but not much there.
I don't have him down on my roster. I think it was 64. Ross Wells from Eastern broke through there, and it hit the back initially, and that slowed him up so he couldn't really get back to the line of scrimmage.
That'll make it 3rd and 9. The ball's on the 41-yard line. West Virginia has one receiver up top, one below, and an I formation. Huffman going deep. He has a man, and he goes up and he pulls the ball in for first down yardage at the 21-yard line, and that was Joey Ramsey, a 6'3", 210-pounder from the St. Mary's Blue Devils, and Joey Ramsey makes a great grab, and West Virginia is in business once again.
Watch him go up after this. He got it at its highest point, and he used his body to shield the defender, so the defender didn't have a chance to get to it.
Ramsey was a great basketball player as well, and he showed his
that's a basketball move,
vertical move there. Yeah. He transferred to St. Mary's from Ripley High School, played his senior year at St. Mary's High School, and the Blue Devils were glad to have him. I formation, the first back through, gets the handoff, not much there, and as his helmet comes popping
he's going to
off,
have to come out of the game.
That was Skylar Delk from Roane County. Delk had a great senior year, averaging over 10 yards a carry, rushing for 1,200 yards and 22 touchdowns on the season for the Raiders of Roane County.
They had a nice ball club.
They did. Made a nice run, and the LKC and AA football. Huffman in the shotgun with a pistol formation, and it's a direct snap once again to Deshaun Webster. Webster kicks it outside. Deshaun Webster on his way, 25 yards for the touchdown. Deshaun Webster from Philip Barber High School. 25-yard run at the 10:38 mark, and Ohio's on the board. Mikey had a nice little waggle there.
Did a great job of cutting outside.
Yeah. And he just turned on the Jets after that. So West Virginia powers into the lead early here in the second quarter, 13-7 with Tyler Thomas on to kick the extra point. If we can, we'll go down to Rick after the extra point and get his perspective on that series. Kick is up, and it is good. So at the 10:38 mark, West Virginia takes a 14-7 lead. And Rick Marshall, if you can hear me along the sidelines, Rick, what are your thoughts on that series?
Well, what you're starting to see now up front is that the West Virginia team is starting to take over at the line of scrimmage. Ohio was having some success early offensively by getting their taller receivers out wide and making the smaller defensive backs have to recover on vertical seeds, which was going to be really difficult. But right now, West Virginia is starting to exert the depth that they have, starting to exert the strength that they have up front, and now it's what you're seeing in the game.
Thanks, Rick. Great report. We'll be coming down to you for more reports throughout the game. So Team West Virginia moves out in front, and we've got the band playing. We'll be hearing from them at the A1 Heating and Cooling halftime show.
Jim, who was that scored for West Virginia? I missed that one.
This one right here?
Yeah.
It was a... Thanks, Mike. It wasn't Joey Ramsey. He had the catch before it. Let's see if we still at the replay. I think it was Deshaun Webster. That's who it was, the running back. Fair catch at the 21-yard line. Don't really see much of that on a kickoff. Ball's at the 22-yard line, 1st and 10 for Ohio.
About the 27-yard line, 1st and 10, Ohio. Go defense!
Some St. Mary's fans in the air watching the action today.
Screen.
Ohio has a screen pass, and that is to Braden Roth from Bel Air High School. A Bel Air Big Red coming through, and he'll pick up close to 14 yards on the play. 1st down yardage.
Well executed.
And that was Brady Yonker, the quarterback, back in. Completes his first pass of the game. And we've got the Spirit cams on both sidelines. Evan Lasik is powering one, and Alexa Griffey is on the other Spirit cam. 1st and 10 from the 34. Brady Yonker goes back, swings it out into the flat, and he hits his receiver, Liam Benson from Frontier High School, a Frontier Cougar, 5'11", 145-pounder. And that's a pickup of about 6 yards on the play, or 3 yards. Take a look, a peek along the Ohio sidelines. You can see the sun setting. You get the reflection off the players, front of the players' uniforms. And when the sun sets, that'll bring cooler temperatures to Bill Hanlon Stadium. Yonker getting rushed. He feels the heat. He'll be brought down by West Virginia. Braden Whipke, that is, from Parkersburg South, led the attack, and 2 of his teammates there helped clean up. And then just a great defensive effort there by Team West Virginia.
Yonker dropped for a big loss. Whipke and Hunt.
We got a timeout here. Timeout, Ohio. And with that timeout, we'll take a timeout here at the BACF Football Classic. West Virginia's on top 14-7. We'll be back with more action after this.
Brady Yonker goes back, swings it out.
Brings up a 4th and 31.
Welcome back to the BACF Football Classic. While you were away, Team West Virginia came up with a big defensive quarterback sack, so all the way back to the 14-yard line, 4th and 31. So Ohio getting ready to boot this ball away.
Jim, on that last sack, it was by Chris Goins, 6'1", 240 from Mount View.
And that ball is all the way back.
Looks like about
actually
the
8-yard line,
yeah.
8 or 9 yard line. So he'll be punting from the end zone. West Virginia should get great field position. And the ball hits, and he'll pick it up. And once again for West Virginia, that is Jalen Hall. And Jalen Hall still on his feet. Jalen Hall returned one for a touchdown, and now he's inside the 10-yard line. Oh, my goodness, what a run.
Great
what
run.
a kickoff by Jalen Hall of Mount View High School.
I'll tell you, he has great vision. Watch him make a cut, shallow cut there, bounce off of a potential tackler, keeps on driving. Great run.
Guys, we're going to have to get an interview with Jalen Hall here. up here on the sidelines in the next few minutes. So we've got a couple of fouls.
Helmet-to-helmet contact against West Virginia.
Let's see where they'll march that back to. They've got the ball at the 25-yard line. That's where they say the penalty occurred. So that'll be 15 yards. That'll mark it all the way back to about the 41-yard line. So West Virginia was in the red zone, and helmet-to-helmet contact. That'll push them all the way back to the 41-yard line. But still, they're inside Ohio territory. They've scored 2 straight touchdowns and looking to add to their 14-7 lead here in the second quarter.
We got officials timeout.
Probably for water to hydrate the players.
That's exactly what it is.
Sending them both to the sides, and it's so important. This is really our first hot stretch of weather this year, and they've been practicing in temperatures like last week. It were beautiful temperatures, and this week the heat and the humidity finally arrived in the Mid-Ohio Valley. So these players are being carefully attended to or taken care of by the officials, making sure that there are no problems with the heat exhaustion or dehydration.
Jim, number 80 for West Virginia, Jalen Hall from Mountain View High School. He's exciting to watch. He's got great moves, great vision, and that when you have a runner like that has great vision, that's how they make a lot of extra yardage.
I see him sitting on the bench or down by the bench. And Rick, maybe you can get a quick word with him, see if he'd like to talk with us here real quick. And when our camera guy Kevin gets there, we will have Jalen Hall, who's electrified this crowd, and he's in the early contention for the Player of the Game award. And the timeout is over, and West Virginia comes back to the sideline. Trenton Huffman takes the snap, and he'll run away around the left corner, has blocking, and he'll get across the 30-yard line. A good pickup there for first down yardage, a pickup of about 11 yards, 11 or 12 yards. That'll stop the clock as they have the first down yardage.
He had a nice escort in front of him, Jim.
Yes, he did. So they said he was just 1 yard short. So mark him a yard short, so it'll be 2nd and 1. Under center now. Handoff up the middle. He gets stacked up, but I believe he might have enough for the first down yardage.
There was a mix-up on that play, and it caused a bad handoff, and that's the reason he didn't pick up the first down.
No, they say he's still about a half yard short.
That was Carson Schreiber that took the handoff. He's from Clay Battelle. So whenever you have bad timing like that, Jim, it does give the defense an advantage.
Third down now. It's just a power I formation right here. And this time he gets staffed. I think he might have fallen forward for the first down. I think that was Skylar Delk. We'll have to wait and see, and they do move the chains. And now we'll go down with Rick along the sideline with probably the most exciting player this game for Team West Virginia. That would be Jalen Hall from Mount View High School. Rick.
Thanks, Jim and Mike. Jalen, you're having a great start to this game already. You're returning some nice kicks. Tell me what you're seeing on the field and what's working well for you.
Well, my teammates over here, obviously, they're making great blocks, making big holes for me to go through.
How's this week been for you as a player?
It's been pretty good. A lot of reps at DB.
West Virginia rolling left, and that is Trenton Huffman.
Talk to you later.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Appreciate it, and thank you for the time, Mr. Hall.
That's a nice run by the quarterback.
And now I think we've got a new quarterback in there, Nick Keller. He's 5'8", 140-pounder from Lincoln High School. The young man has some speed.
He's not real big, but I'll tell you what, he ran hard. Second, a short yard.
Ball's at the 21-yard line. Quick hitter.
First down.
And that'll move the chains once again, and that was bowled up there by Logan Hartshorn, 205-pounder from Parkersburg. The Parkersburg High Big Reds represented on this year's team.
18-yard line. First and 10.
Mountaineers, Team West Virginia, inside the red zone. First and 10 at the 18. Once again, they're going with that power I formation. Dotting the I, and not much running room there for Skylar Delk as the interior part of the Ohio defensive line got the job done.
I'll tell you, Jim, I've been watching a lineman for West Virginia, number 77, Logan McCartney from R.C. Byrd High School, 6'4", 275. He looks pretty good.
Some of these kids are going on to the next level, whether it be in Division II and the Mountain East Conference or Division III, but a lot of the athletes in the Middle Ohio Valley getting opportunities to play on the college level. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Joey Ramsey.
That ball was thrown a little bit behind him. He's making a sharp cut inside, and if you throw the ball behind him, he's on the run in the opposite direction. Makes it difficult for him to reach back.
Try to whip around and pull it in. Difficult play, so that'll bring up third down. And of course, West Virginia's kicker, Taylor Thomas, has shown his leg. We were watching his leg in the pregame, and he certainly has the leg for a field goal effort here.
It's 3rd and 11.
Man in motion is Seth Richards. And he goes back to Seth Richards, turns around. It's not much there as he gets dragged down by Team Ohio, and I believe that was
Braden Strong.
Braden Strong, yep. Coming through for his coach, Mike Flannery. A lot of River players in the roster. And let's see here, it's 4th down. Let's see if they'll give Mr. Thomas a chance, and they will. He's spotting the ball at about the 26-yard line, so that would make it a 36-yard field goal attempt. His holder will be, don't have the number on that.
A nice kick.
It is up from 36 yards. It is good. So Taylor with the field goal. Taylor Thomas, a 36-yard field goal at the 56 mark. That makes it 17-7. West Virginia, who has scored 17 unanswered points, will be back after this 1-minute station.
And he goes back to Seth Richards, turns around. Not much there. He gets dragged down by.
And welcome back to the BACF All-Star Fall Classic. West Virginia is on top, 17-7, and West Virginia's kicked the ball away, and Ohio will get the ball 1st and 10 at their 12-yard line. And let's go down to Evan Lasik with his Spirit Cam. Evan, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Jim and Mike. It is great down here. It's a little quiet right now on the Ohio side. They are very ecstatic that they held them to a field goal right there, but they know they have to get their offense going, and they're looking to do just that, as the D-line of West Virginia has been a lot to handle. Now, we just got a timeout going on right now, so let's see what they got to say in the huddle as this timeout goes on.
So we're going to peek into the huddle there with Evan. That's Coach Mike Flannery. We thank both coaches for allowing us to get inside the huddle, and Evan, just a nice close-up look at what goes on during these timeouts.
Yeah, a lot of seriousness right there. They know they have to make a lot of adjustments to get back into this game, and I think Coach Flannery, he knows his team is capable of doing that. So let's see what they can do with 3:50 left on the clock in halftime. Hopefully they can cut it to a 1-possession lead.
First and 10 from the 13-yard line for Team Ohio. They got trips to the right of the quarterback, and he's going deep. Pantelides downfield. The ball is tipped.
Good defense.
And incomplete. Good coverage for West Virginia, as that was Parker Kinsell from North Marion, a 5'8", 155-pounder, skied high there, and he denied Ohio's wide receiver Brody Lolithan, who's 5'10", a chance to catch that football. So that'll bring up 2nd and long.
He had good position on the receiver, and when the receiver looked up, he turned around and was in front of him and knocked the ball down. Just great reaction.
Here we go once again. We've got 2 receivers to the top of the screen, 2 to the bottom with Jacob Pantelides. Low snap, pulls it in, slings one to the far sideline. It's pulled in at the 19, and he'll stay in bounds. West Virginia had him all red, though, and he wasn't going to let Brody Lolithan any chance to break free on that one. So that'll bring up about a pickup of about 7 yards on that one. That'll bring up 3rd and 4. And 3rd and 4 is a lot easier situation than 3rd and 10, so they've given themselves a chance with different options to pick up this first down and try to get their offense back in gear.
Pantelides does a nice job of delivering the ball, Jim. He doesn't have motion way back. It's a real quick release.
Once again, looking to the far sideline, he gets swarmed under, breaks
no
away,
chance.
but he'll get knocked down at about the 15, 16-yard line. So he is knocked down by Team West Virginia, and that was Austin Bartlett from Ritchie County in on the tackle. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, and he was dead flat in pursuit, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you what, the West Virginia defensive line is really controlling the line of scrimmage, and it's making it very, very difficult on Ohio's quarterback, Pantelides.
So that'll bring up 4th down. West Virginia will get the ball back with a good field position. We've got 4th and about 18 yards to go. And Team West Virginia is on the near sidelines with the timeout. And while they're taking a timeout, we'd like to remind you that the players helped raise money for the BACF for the most money for player sponsorships for tonight's game from the Ohio All-Stars. Jared Trenner from Shenandoah, $350 raised. Hayden Soprano from Waterford, $400. Also with $400, Liam Benson, and from Frontier. And the greatest sponsorship amount on the Ohio All-Star was Jacob Pantelides from Waterford High School with $500 raised, all going to the good cause of fighting cystic fibrosis.
Well, Jalen Hall's back, and he's dangerous, so I'd kick away from him.
And he lets the ball bounce, and Ohio touches it, downs the ball. Yeah, downs the ball at about the 42-yard line.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10, West Virginia at the 2:44 mark. And also from raising money, I'd like to thank the players from Team West Virginia who raised money for their teams. Parker Kinsell from North Marion with $400. Kemper Longwell from Philip Barber, $450. Austin Bartlett from Ritchie County with $500. And the player who brought in the most sponsorship money of any players of both teams, Harbor Hott from Williamstown High School with $1,300. And once again, the community of Williamstown supports their football teams, and they support a good cause like finding a cure for cystic fibrosis. First and 10. Quick pitch to pass to number 14 for Team West Virginia. And that was Joey Ramsey, St. Mary's Blue Devil, who's come up with a couple of good catches in this game. Great running back, but he's going to play on the college level as a wide receiver, I believe, wide receiver or tight end. So he's looking forward to catching footballs on Saturday during the fall.
He's got good hands.
He does. Trent Huffman going for it all down the far sidelines. Oh, in and out of the hands of the receiver, who turned, thought he might have a pickoff there. The pass was intended for Skylar Delk, but good defense there on behalf of Ohio there to stop that. And we've got a timeout here.
Skylar Delk was looking to the inside to his right, but the ball was thrown behind him, Jim.
And coming up at halftime, we've got the A1 Heating and Cooling halftime show, and we'll be hearing a special performance by an all-star band. And then we've got an even more surprise coming up after the band performance. That's coming up on the A1 Heating and Cooling halftime show here from St. Mary's.
Jim, I think the weather is having a little bit of an effect on Ohio right now, and it's all because of numbers, because West Virginia is pretty much two platoon, and Ohio, of course, is not two platoon. And, you know, those young men are out there playing really hard.
But it's tough to play, and the temperatures in the
well, the sun's
80s,
going down, and it's going to help.
But earlier we had, and this is a great turf field, one of the best turf fields in high school football, but it does radiate that heat from the sun directly on it all day long. So it was walked out in the field there, and it's pretty darn hot out there. So these players are having to deal with that and the humidity, which has been up for the first time really this season. Last week was like a perfect week with highs in the 60s and low 70s and no humidity. And this week the Mid-Ohio Valley is returning to normal with high temperatures and high humidity.
It's going to be that way for the next few days, I understand.
Yeah. I sound like Kurt Greenfield there with the weather report.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Remember to hydrate.
But once again, West Virginia is they're winning the battle up front. And if you win the offensive line and defensive line battles, you're going to win a lot of games. And this is the reason that they're ahead right now, 17-7 with 2:33 remaining in the second period.
And West Virginia coach Bobby Burnside would dearly love to pick up the first down and just stick another score in right before the half here to extend his lead. He's coached the West Virginia All-Stars to a victory in this game one time before in 2013. So Bobby Burnside has experience of this game, and of course he's done an amazing job with the Doddridge County football program, and they've been one of the top in the state in Class Single A football.
They have a great facility there now with a brand new high school and all of the athletic facilities that they have.
I think I should say Class AA. They got bumped up with the classification, but they're really having a great run of football. Okay, we're about ready to go.
We got about 3rd and 6.
Yeah, 3rd and 6 from the 46-yard line. West Virginia trying to pick up that first down and move the chains. Oh, here comes the heat from Ohio, but he gets a pass off, and it is caught. It is caught by Seth Richards from Doddridge County. Seth Richards inside the 25. He'll get bull wrestled out at about the 22-yard line, but a perfect play, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. And what he did was he ran back against the grain. Now take a look.
Oh, here comes
and he threw the ball, and he's wide open. There's no defensive back near him, and so he just turns it on going down the sideline.
So that was a 35-yard pickup, if I do the math correctly on that play. So a great first down, and they're just outside the red zone, knocking on the door. Deuces wild, 2:22 left to go here in the second quarter.
That was a Doddridge County combination there.
Mm-hmm. Now it's a direct snap to Deshaun Webster. Webster kicks it to the outside, getting around across the 10. Webster bowls his way into the end zone. 21 yards by Deshaun Webster, his second touchdown run of the night. Deshaun Webster getting the job done, and West Virginia extends its lead to 23-7 here at the 2:13 mark.
Nice, and take a look at when we run this back. Take a look at how he stiff arms a couple of times and does a great job.
Here we see it, and one stiff arm there, another one there, and then he just finds his way into the end zone. So Deshaun Webster, he's a leading candidate for our player of the game coming up at the end of tonight's contest. And once again, it is Taylor Thomas with the point after. He's perfect on the night. So West Virginia extends its lead to 24-7 at the 2:13 mark. And Rick, if you can hear me down there, Rick, I think we would like to talk to that young man, or like to have a word with Deshaun Webster on his second touchdown of the evening. So, Mike, Ohio starts first in this ball game after a trick special teams play gave them a first down. They marched down the field and scored, but it has been all West Virginia after that as they have scored 24 unanswered points to extend their lead here to 24-7.
It's really a dominating performance right now, Jim.
And West Virginia will get the ball to start the third quarter. As we look up some of the fans, we've got the Doddridge County fans in their champion T-shirts. Thomas kicking the ball away. It'll be pulled in at about the 3-yard line. And that is
good coverage. Yeah, real good coverage.
For special teams, especially, they don't really get a chance to work on it that much, but that was great special teams coverage. That was Terry Price on the return from Monroe Central.
Austin, go ahead.
He had very little running room, and who was in on the tackle?
Number 6, Austin Bartley, was down there real quick. He hit him initially and knocked him off balance, and then he fell down himself, but he got right back up and was in on the tackle.
Very good. So Ohio will have a long field to go, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. You're watching the BACF All-Star Football Classic on the Valley's MEMI. You're watching live on the MEMI, and coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, you can see the game on OVA Fox Parkersburg. A quick run up the middle by Team Ohio. That's Pantelides, and he'll pick up first down yardage.
Nice run by Pantelides, 16-yard run that time. Spun out of a couple of tackles.
And we'll also be having a word with the head coach of Team West Virginia, Bobby Burnside. Rick will get a quick word with him as the half ends. Quick handoff up the middle, and that is River Thompson, the wide receiver, getting that. Now check that. I believe that might have been Braden Roth from Bel Air High School.
Yeah, Adam Burnside from Doddridge made the tackle. Good hustle on the field there.
Now we've got some movement there, and that's a false start. West Virginia pointed it out, and
one of the
officials
Ohio
believe
players
it.
Jumped as the West Virginia player was running on the field.
Chris Goins from Mountain View, pointed it out to the officials, said, hey, he moved. Chris Goins, 6'1", 240 pounds, defensive tackle. That's a long haul from Mountain View, West Virginia to St. Mary's.
I'd be interested to know how they end up as kids.
Oh, speaking of which, he gets the sack. Chris Goins gets the sack from Mountain View. So it was a long trip, but it was worth the trip for Chris Goins. And for Hall, that matter, his teammate, who's had some great punt returns. So it'll be 3rd and long.
Good quickness. He showed great quickness, to be honest with you.
That's 3rd and about 19. Pantelides looking to his far sideline. Now he comes back to his right. He's going to take off downfield, and he'll get shoved out of bounds. Great pursuit there by Team West Virginia. And that was Braden Whipke
from South.
And Pantelides, they get knocked over all the Gatorade buckets.
Well, you probably wanted to go over there and cool off.
Yeah. They'll have time to cool off at the halftime because this year the halftime is 30 minutes, so the players will get a chance to regroup. And I'll bring up 4th down, and they'll have to punt this ball away. So West Virginia, 16 seconds left on the clock, and with that punt receiver for West Virginia, the punt returner for West Virginia, Jalen Hall, that might be enough time for another outstanding punt return. Let's see if they'll just try to kick the ball away from him.
They need to kick it away from him because he's dangerous.
He's down back to about the 33-yard line of West Virginia. The punt is away, and it'll be bouncing and bounce out of bounds.
About the 36-yard line.
So West Virginia will have 10 seconds left. Let's see if they take a knee or if they try to make something happen here in the final 10 seconds. It's cooling off nicely here in St. Mary's, and once the sun does go down, the temperatures are starting to moderate.
And you know what? We're sitting in this press box, and I thought we'd be real hot, but we're not.
Yeah.
That's good.
Matter of fact, would you go get us some hot chocolate for the second half? I think I have a chill coming on. Okay, West Virginia will run the ball and run out the clock. He's got some great running room. He finally gets knocked out of bounds as he crosses the 50-yard line. So that was a great kickoff by Carson Shriver, a great run, I should say, by Carson Shriver from Clay Patel. That leaves us with 3 seconds left on the clock. See if we got a Hail Mary pass here by Huffman. He's got a good arm.
Yes, he does.
He's got some good receivers.
Keep your eye on number 1 at the top of your screen.
Huffman with a short pass to Joey Ramsey. Ramsey across the 30, and that'll do it. That'll run out the clock for the first half. As Team West Virginia is out in front by the score of 24-7. We're going to see if Rick can get us a word with Coach Burnside. When they get ready, we'll go down, and I think Rick is ready. So let's go down to Rick Marshall and Coach Burnside of West Virginia All-Stars. Rick.
Hey, thanks, Jim and Mike. Coach, good first half. Ohio got a quick start on you, hit the fade over the top with their big wide receiver from River. Tell me about the adjustments you made to really shut them down after that first drive.
Well, I mean, first we had a good defensive stand, and they had a nice fake punt to extend that drive, and they just had a great drive and made a great play. But we just had to settle in. We know we have some guys that are playing hard, and we started wearing on them.
Tell me about on the offensive side of the ball. You made some adjustments after that first series, and it's really started to click, and you guys are starting to really move at will down the field.
You know, these guys have been practicing 4 days, that's it, but they're good players. So just give them a chance, you know, and get the bugs out. And I think you saw that. Deshaun Webster looks great. Trenton Huffman's look good. I mean, just some players making plays.
Coach, thanks a lot. Go get them adjusted at the halftime.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And West Virginia will have the ball to start the second half, so really have all the momentum in the world going their way. And we'll be back with more of the A1 Heating and Cooling halftime show after you see this.
Ramsey across the 30, and that